Hi, welcome to Atheist Edge. I'm Sam.
I'm Jim.
And today we're going to be talking about reality, whether or not it is objective or subjective. A lot of thoughts out there available. You can even go on YouTube and find those who question whether or not we can know reality, whether or not it is objective or if it's entirely subjective based upon personal feelings and intuitions. Do you have any initial thoughts on this topic, Jim?
Well, usually when we talk about subjective versus objective, it's with regard to morality. So this is a bigger subject, a more broad subject with reality itself. I think the first thing we need to do is probably just agree on some definitions.
Absolutely.
Right?
If you go to Wiktionary, this is Wikipedia's dictionary. This is where I'm getting these definitions, looking up objective and subjective. And there's a couple of different definitions here, and I'm just going to read off the ones that are most important to our discussion. On Wiktionary.com for objective, 1, the definition of objective is of or relating to a material object, actual existence, or reality. 2, not influenced by the emotions or prejudices. And 3, based upon observed facts. As a noun, it means a material object that physically exists or a goal that is striven for, like a mission objective or a business objective. And subjective is listed as the opposite of that. And I'm going to list off a couple of definitions here. Definition number 1 I thought was really interesting. It says 1, pertaining to subjects as opposed to objects. And it's making a differentiation between a subject, a thing that is observed, and a subject, one who observes, and an object, one that is observed. Number 2, it says formed as in opinions based upon a person's feelings or intuition. And really, I think a lot of people, that's what they mean when they're talking about subjective, is that it's based upon one's personal feelings or intuitions rather than just one's individual perceptions.
So for them, okay, so someone that believes in subjective reality, if they were to disappear, would they think all reality disappears with them?
As I'm not a subjectivist, I don't know. I think it depends. I think there are some that would say reality does disappear. And you remember that old Zen thing, like what's the sound of one hand clapping, or if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound.
If all life were to be extinguished from the universe right now. Reality continues on its course.
Yes.
Gravity behaves in the same way. The laws of physics, right? Okay.
I think that's demonstrated just in everyday life, that when a being dies, whether it's human or an animal, they're gone.
Yeah.
And
I got some problems we can talk later.
Yeah, we're still going on. In addition, if reality wasn't there, then there would be no process of evolution from which life forms are made. And you got some thoughts on that?
Well, okay. All right. Here's why I'm a subjectivist in this sense. Certainty is bad. Are you 100% certain that there is no God?
I would say I'm about as close as you can possibly get.
Yeah, that's leading into my real question.
It is. As far as 100% certainty whether or not God exists, it depends on how you define God. If there is no consistent definition that gets off the ground, then of course you can be 100% certain that thing doesn't exist. But the reference is reality, existence itself. We understand that reality is consistent. It is consistent across space and time. If that wasn't true, astrophysics, quantum physics, particle physics, chemistry, none of these things would even hold together or make sense. And there are some people who say that science itself is just a discourse, a conversation, an illusion. It's not even real. And that science itself is akin to religion or mystical beliefs.
Okay.
But if reality is objective, it is very different from religious belief, because reality can be observed, it can be measured, and it can be known independent of the observer.
Let me boil that down. You cannot be 100% certain. Based on just, if nothing more than intellectual honesty, right?
100%.
Using that same line of logic,
Uh-huh.
can we be 100% certain that this studio is real right now that we're in? Do you say yes or no to that?
Yes, this
Yes?
studio is real. It's here. I can see it. I
But
can
using
touch it.
your intellectual honesty, can you be 100%? Could there
Yes.
be any other explanation?
No. As far as I know, if some evidence comes along that shows that, okay, this is in fact all illusion, if there could be some evidence that shows I'm a brain in a vat imagining this entire
That is
particular.
I don't subscribe to that, but that's a possibility, right?
You could say it's a possibility, but we have no evidence for it. And a proposition made without evidence can be dismissed without evidence, just like the theory of God. If there is no evidence for it, then we can dismiss it without evidence. If the definition itself doesn't hang together to make cognitive sense or rational sense, then it's not real. Just like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny, things that we learned at a young age that they were not true, because these things don't hold consistently together.
That makes all the sense.
In addition, we've never seen a real Santa Claus or a real Easter Bunny. We've never seen a God. We don't know what that looks like. We can't even define it consistently.
Just add one more thing before you close.
Yeah.
So our perception, so even though me as a subjectivist, I can't be 100% certain, just to let you know, I'm presupposing that reality is real. You have to, as a human being, to get through life. So even though I'm not 100% certain, I live as though I am. It's the only way we can get through life.
And a lot of people refer to this as a pragmatic position,
Yeah.
but it begs the question, why does it work? Is there a reality within which it works, within which it's consistent, within which that we can understand? One of the issues is that a lot of people think that you must have complete knowledge of reality to know anything about it. There are people who say that evolution itself designs our senses and our perceptions to only perceive what is relative to our survival, what enables survival. But it begs the question, upon what is our survival based? Are we not real biological organisms which are governed by chemistry, by quantum physics, atom physics? If we are not, then everything is an open question. Everything could be not real. I could not be real. You might not be real. The thing is, all of these things tend to be consistent. They work together. It is things that we observe. And if they were not real, reality itself would not make sense. There could be no cameras. There could be no lights, no microphones, no internet with which to even watch this video. So in conclusion, wrapping it up, reality is what we observe. If it's not reality that we are observing, then the content of our observations can't even hold up.
Right. It's absolutely right.
Thank you so much for joining us on Atheist Edge. I'm Sam.
I'm Jim.
See you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.